So Paul's just looking at you sitting on the bike now. What we're going to talk about in this segment is how important riding position is, seating position particularly. So as you're sat there right now, how important is it for the rider to be sat in the right position on the start, for instance? Are you, what is the position that you would adopt?
Like actually for the start, especially like with a 450, you want to be as much to the front as possible, but at the same time you need to get the traction on the rear wheel once you hit the sand. So, you know, I still am figuring out a little bit the technique, because like it depends also from the dirt and from the tire what you use. But like here in Majora we use the normal hard pack tire. So you know, then the start positioning will be quite much to the front. And it depends also from if the start is ripped or is it hard pack. You know, when it's ripped, then it's easy to get a wheelie. So after the gate, you also try to put your weight forward to keep the wheel down. If it's like it was in the Matterly, I was struggling with that, you know, with the drop off, because there you had to go really to the back directly, not to get a wheel spin. So it's really important to see how is the track conditions after the gate to see what you need to do with the body positioning. But obviously you need to try to go as much to the rear as possible, but at the same time to not get a wheelie.
Yeah, and this is after the gate.
Exactly, yes. Because for sure in the gate, you know, in the grate we have a full grip. So there you need to go as much as front as possible almost. In a hard pack you come, like obviously when it's still a little bit slick, you try to get as away to the front, you know, to get a traction with the front wheel, and then to sit in the front, put the leg out and just try to turn and controlling the front. You know, it also depends, because if there's rut or no rut, when there's no rut, you know, then it's sliding a little bit like speedway style, which I actually kind of like it, because I used to ride a lot in Latvia on the ice with the spike tires, so I like that kind of stuff. But like in the sand, you know, obviously there is, you know, more heavy for the bike, and there we use the scoop tire. So obviously there you just are automatically more to the rear, and many times you just can take corners standing up and you don't even need to sit down, which is on a hard pack a little bit more difficult.
Antti, here we are down in your team base at the race weekend, looking at the bikes, the tyres obviously from Dunlop. What is the difference between the mousse that you use? Are there different compounds, different pressures? How does it work with the mousse tyre?
Yeah, of course the mousse tyre is really important, you know, that we avoid punctures. So this is to limit the risk of a DNF or something like that. And the actual mousse, Dunlop has brilliant mousse, very high tech. So it's very light first of all, and it's lasting for a long time. And all the mousses are same compound actually. There is no difference on that side, but we are working on a different cutting and different dimensions of the mousse, and that way we can a little bit manage if it's softer or harder, and of course depends on the track.
So even in the sand then you're using a mousse, the same compound mousse for sand, for mud and for the hard pack?
Indeed. So Dunlop, like I told, it's a really good mousse and very high tech, and there is only that one mousse that we need to use. Back in the days, you know, there was more variation and more things for different track conditions, but they were able to develop such a good mousse that it's possible to use on all conditions.
So how would you class this tyre? Is it more of an intermediate because it does all those different conditions?
Yeah, this is more or less like a mid-soft tyre, so we can use it on extremely hard pack conditions like Russia 2 weeks ago, but also a little bit, you know, like example here in Matterly Basin, you know, the track is a bit more ripped. It's a little bit more grippy and loose soil, and yeah, it should work also here.
So Jordi, tell us about your bike, JT911 KTM. Obviously there is a standard bike, modified stock, and then factory. Where is your bike, or how does your bike kind of fit in that line of development? And what are the kind of things you've changed to make your bike competitive?
We have quite a lot of difference compared to the standard bike. We only keep the frame and the subframe the same. For the rest, everything changed, also because of the sponsors. So the biggest difference is on the engine. So on the engine, we need a lot of power. Of course, the 450 standard is already a lot of power, but for the MXGP, we need even more. Tires is really important for the riders too, you know, to have a good grip on the ground, and I'm lucky to riding with the factory Dunlop. We have a really good relationship with Eddie Seal, and I'm really thankful for that. The tires can make only one motos to be like 100% good. And then, yeah, for the rest, we're using the mousse inside, a lot of stones, and we can't get a flat tire during motos. You know, we lose a lot of points otherwise. So for the dry, we're using kind of the same tires all the time. I mean, good grip or hard pack on stuff. We're using the hard pack tire. It's a scoop tire, which we can use in the mud, also on the sandy condition, but with hard pack
So like
in the
Agata.
knees. Yeah, exactly. Or even Latvia or stuff. And yeah, this is a tire which is really competitive, and even on a, I should say, not hard pack condition, but kind of hard track. When it's like muddy, track like Model is kind of soft ground already, so the scoop tire should be the best, I should say. Otherwise, we're using the same as hard pack.